Howdy, my name is Eric Fish. I'm the Learning Support Writing Coordinator for Northeast State Community College. If you're watching this video, you've probably been assigned either a co-requisite 1010 class or a co-requisite 0870, or possibly both. Quite often we have teachers doing both at the same semester. I kind of want to talk about the basic framework. This is not something Northeast State just kind of thought up one day. This came from the Tennessee Board of Regents, our governing system, and mainly through the leadership of Dr. Tristan Denley, who kind of led the charge for the co-requisite model. And if you want to go through and read policy 2.03.00.02, you can do that, especially if you have some sleepless nights there. It's actually kind of interesting to read through and see where all this comes from and what the ideal situation was when they came up with all these ideas. But the basic idea behind the Co-Req model is that students are no longer going to take learning support or developmental courses prior to their college level courses. Going to take them while they're taking, in this case, Comp 1, which creates some very interesting challenges. So far, the data seems to be supporting that this is kind of a good initiative. It's certainly saving the state a crap ton of money. So this isn't something that's really going to go away. And you're part of the effort to try and make all this work. And Dr. Denley kind of gave us the guidelines, which again you can read through if you like reading policy. Colleges got to decide kind of how they wanted to implement it, but they had to work within the framework provided by TBR. For the Northeast State implementation, this was an unfunded mandate, so we didn't get any extra money to make this happen. So what we ended up doing was linking the 0870 course, the learning support course. Some people still refer to it as developmental courses. The powers that be don't generally like that, but a lot of people don't know what learning support means. But we're going to link the learning support course to a specific Comp 1 course. Other colleges can quite often afford to have the same instructor do both. We generally don't have the money for that. So we generally have different instructors for the two courses. So, for example, here, if you're Adam Timms, you're going to be paired with Deborah Jennings for your co-requisite course. And basically the idea is that the Comp 1 instructor shouldn't really have to change much within their course. The other big difference between what we do and what other colleges do is other colleges limit the number of developmental students within a particular Comp 1 course, but your course is going to have the same students in both classes. They're kind of going through as a cohort there. And there's advantages and disadvantages to that as well. Let's say you're Adam Timms, you're going to be linked here with Deborah Jennings with your course. The Comp 1 instructor should pretty much do what they normally would do in Comp 1, assign essays, work with research, all that, work with critical thinking, all the Comp 1 stuff, that we normally do. And then the 0870 instructor supports that effort, mainly through reviewing the drafts of the essays. When you see some of the student run, you're going to want the 0870 instructor to help them a little bit, particularly with the grammar and sentence structure and basic organization kind of problems. So the 0870 instructor kind of depends on what the students you have. You got to teach the ones you have, not the ones you want, right? So there may be instruction in the 0870 course with computer use, certainly with essay review, grammar, sentence structure, and any other activities that might match up to the essays going on in Comp 1. So basically, the 0870 instructor is not going to assign essays to do. They're going to be supporting the essays that are going on in Comp 1. That doesn't mean the 0870 instructor can't do different assignments, but you don't want them competing with the essays in Comp 1, right? The big trick is that for the 1010 instructor, you need to require the students to submit their essays to the 0870 instructor for that instructor to review them. And to do that, you need to allow that instructor to have time to do that. And that's kind of the big trick. And you got to kind of communicate with each other and make sure the schedules are working out. Also kind of notice some of these 0870 instructors are teaching more than one class. I'm linked with Joanne Schell in my course, but she also has a class with Audrey Peters and with Stuart Glass. So we can't all give her 24 essays on a Tuesday, expect her to have them reviewed by a Thursday or something like that. That could be up to 72 essays, and Joanne's not going to be able to do all that in a 2-day period. So the 08 to 70 instructors are probably going to start screaming for your schedule from the Comp 1 instructor, so they can kind of work it out and maybe communicate back, say, hey, wait a minute, can we do this on a different day? So I don't have 72 essays coming in all at once. Let's take a look. So if you're in the Comp 1 course, I'm going to go to the help page for all 1010 courses. You may have to come up here and do a search for it, the ENGL 1010 support course. It's not within your normal semester's courses. It's a special course for you. But you'll see there's a sample schedule. We're going to go down to 1010 co-requisite. And I have kind of a sample schedule. I haven't talked to Joanne Shell yet. She may send an email back like, whoa, dude, I can't do that. Slow down. Slow your roll a little bit. But you're going to see with the policies, the Comp 1 instructor is going to have to put in this this note on 0870 instructor review saying, I'm not going to accept your final version of your essay until I see the 0870 instructor has looked at it. See if I can get down to the scheduling here. So as I'm working on my 1010 schedule, I'm trying to, it's hard to highlight this thing. Let me download this real quick. Open it. But I'm trying to make sure I'm giving my 0870 instructor plenty of time to review the essay and get it back to the students. You just don't want to dump dump an essay on the students and not explain what you're looking at. There we go. So like here on the 5th, I'm saying the draft of the first essay is due to Miss Shell by the end of my class period. I'm probably going to talk to Joanne and make sure, see when she wants things submitted or how she wants them submitted. Generally, the D2L Dropbox is one of the better ways to do that. Also, if everybody's working in D2L, you can have each other put into the, you can have the other instructor put into your class. It's good for the 1010 instructor to do that so the 0870 instructor can see the assignments and what's going on. And likewise, if you do it the other way, you can see who's submitting essays and what's going on there. And I'm trying to be as precise as I can. I'm kind of saying I'd like her to have those done by the weekend and back to the students on Tuesday. One big problem with this setup, if something happens, if Joanne's sick or just too much work all of a sudden for one weekend, I may have to adjust that a little bit and be flexible there. And later on the semester, there might be a snow day or something. Things are going to happen. You got to be flexible. You got to communicate with your co-rec partner there. But you'll see that I'm trying to give her the weekend to look at essays. Again, she's not copy editing these essays necessarily. She shouldn't be grading them necessarily. So hopefully it's fairly quick work. Not easy work sometimes. It's kind of hard to hold back and not be a copy editor on some of these essays. But the idea is that she's going to look at the essays and offer students some good feedback so that by the time it gets to you, it's going to be a much better essay. Again, you probably need to coordinate what you want to do. Do you want the 0870 instructor to work on MLA formatting? That's something you want to do yourself. I'm hoping to some extent that in Joanne Shell's course paired with mine, I do a career essay, that she might be able to work on things like resume or cover letter while I'm working on the essay, and that way we're both kind of working on the same project in different ways, and then eventually she'll look at the draft of the essay and have a good teamwork going there. But this is up there on the help site. I'm not going to read the entire thing to you, but make sure you're kind of putting in policy for the 1010 instructor that you will not accept essays unless it's reviewed by the 0870 instructor. And for the most part, you won't want to anyway. Likewise, the 0870 instructor should be putting policies in place saying, hey, this is a big part of the grade, and you need to make sure you're doing this. And again, setting up that schedule is kind of the big trick. Trying to think of anything else there. But again, the 0870 instructor may kind of venture out on their own a little bit. If you look at the sample essay, I'm not sample, the sample class schedule. Where am I at there? Hold on, I'm hitting the wrong button here. There we go. I want to be here. You gotta be patient with D2L. Like here, I did a sample 0870 schedule. Obviously, Joanne Shell's gonna do one of her own. But like I've had pretty good success with doing things like um, um, diagramming sentences, just to get not we're not treating gerunds and things like that, but just showing students noun, verb, object. Here's what a sentence should actually look like if you diagram it, and if you don't have a verb in there, you got a fragment, and that's there's something going wrong there. Other structures may have their own little pet projects, but hopefully it's still supporting the Comp 1, but they may kind of go in their own direction for a little bit. As long as you're just not in competition with the Comp 1, should be good to go. Notice they're working with Comp 1 does not have a textbook. 0870 has a grammar workbook, an actual paper version. Hopefully, the idea there is that students have the book pretty quickly and you're working in it pretty quickly. Again, that help site hopefully is giving you some good exercises to work with, some good information to work with. Might be too much information if you're a brand new instructor. You're kind of like, wow, look at all this stuff. But we're here to help you work through it and everything. But again, with the Co-Req, communication's key, and just constant communication. Students are going to play you against each other sometimes. Well, she said I didn't have to have it in. No, I talked to her. That's not what she said. And that's pretty normal. Students are students. But hopefully that kind of gives you a rough sense of what you're getting into. I'm gonna send this list out here later this afternoon. So hopefully most of you can see who your partners are going to be. Still pretty early. You can see a few people who don't have partners yet. A little stressful. Lisa Spears probably like, I need that comp 1 syllabus, class schedule, so I can make my 0870 schedule, right? And make sure there's no problems. But hopefully we'll have this filled out pretty quick. But I'm here to help. My email is erfish@northeaststate.edu. You can also contact Lisa Buchanan or Audrey Peters, who also support the 0870 effort. But I'm going to get off there. Obviously, if you have questions, need me to make additional videos, I'm happy to do that to show you how to do things in D2L or whatever. But don't feel like you're on your own. It's not easy, but once you get into it and to get the schedule straight, it's certainly doable. But we appreciate you. Let me know if you need anything, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.